The year was 2010, and two former Apple engineers brought us a company named Nest. A year later, they brought out their first product, which was the first generation Nest Learning Thermostat. That thermostat changed the smart home game. Before that, you had to be wealthy or crazy rich to have a smart home. But when that thermostat hit, it brought it to the masses and changed everything. Fun fact, the first generation Nest Learning Thermostat was my first smart home device and changed my life. It truly did. But now we're talking about the fourth generation Nest Learning Thermostat. I'm going to tell you all about it. Let's get to it. What up, everybody? George Langabeer here. Yeah, it all started in 2010 when two former Apple engineers started Nest and brought out that Nest Learning Thermostat in 2011. I bought it, and man, I was hooked on the smart home from that point on. And since then, device after device after device, bringing us to today. But it all started with that thermostat for me. Now, somewhere along the way, Nest was sold to Google, and it became Google Nest. And now we are at the fourth generation Nest Learning Thermostat, but it's technically the Google Nest Learning Thermostat. But that's what we're talking about today, that fourth generation. I'm going to unbox it. I'm going to talk price and specs and give you my full review. Let's get going with the unboxing. All right, now that we've unboxed, let's talk about installation and setup. Installation, you're just going to remove your old thermostat, take a picture of the wiring diagram, and then do the same wiring diagram for this new thermostat, 2 screws, and you're done. Installation, 5 to 10 minutes. Very simple. And then as far as setup, one of the most exciting things about this fourth generation thermostat is it's Matter compatible. Before with Google Nest, you could only add this thermostat to the Google Home app. But now, thanks to Matter, you can pretty much add it to any smart home platform. In my case, you know me, it's Apple Home. So that's exactly what I did. I added it to my Apple Home using Matter. So you're going to set it up through the Google Home app. And once you have it set up, it walks you through it step by step. It's very simple. And then there's a Matter section in the settings where you can add it to whatever smart home platform you'd like. And again, in my case, I did Apple Home. So installation and setup, whole thing, 15 minutes. All right, now let's talk price and specs. The fourth generation Google Nest Learning Thermostat is currently $279.99. It comes in polished silver, polished obsidian, and polished gold. It senses the outdoor temps, which allows for natural heating and cooling, meaning that it senses if it's really nice outside, it'll kick back on the air conditioner, and vice versa. So it takes those outdoor temperatures and can adjust your thermostat inside to help you save some money. It can also sense the outdoor air quality. And the key thing about the learning thermostat is it learns your habits to help you save energy. So you've got a smart schedule. You've got adaptive eco temps, meaning the temperatures that when you're home are different than the temperatures when you leave. So when you're gone, it'll save you money. Google Nest says that they can save you up to 12% on heating costs, and they can save you up to 15% on cooling costs. This thermostat is smart enough to monitor for issues, like if you have a problem with your furnace, and it'll alert you. This 4th generation has a bigger display. They say it's 60% larger. And the really cool thing about this thermostat is there's a lot of different display options, including some really cool animations that change depending on the weather outside. The thermostat also has what's called dynamic far sight. So depending on how far away you are from the thermostat, the display will adjust accordingly. And what's most exciting to me is this thermostat is compatible with their new sensors. They had sensors before, but they weren't nearly as advanced. So these new sensors bring it more in line with Ecobee, which is what I've wanted out of this thermostat for a long time. So that's very exciting to me. Okay, now let's briefly cover using the thermostat with both the Google Home app and, in my case, the Apple Home app. Okay, starting with the Google Home app, you can see my devices here. I'm going to go to Climate. There's my thermostat set to 73. You can see the actual indoor temperature right now. I can go plus and minus there to change the temperature on my thermostat. There's my indoor sensors. So I've got one in those different rooms. You can see the temperature in each room. And again, the great thing about these new generations is you can take an average of each of those temperatures instead of just based on one room. So their old sensors, you could base your temperature for the thermostat just on one room. And now you can take an average, and that just saves you money. And it really helps make the temperature in your place just consistent. All right, so if I go into it a little deeper, there's my thermostat. I can control it with my finger. I can slide that temperature. You can see my mode, tells you the status under 10 minutes until cooled to 73, so that's pretty cool. Tells you how long it's going to take to get there. I can press my sensors. I can deselect and select each one that I want to use right now. I can do a hold temperature, and I can say how long I want to hold it for. There's my indoor temperature and humidity. There are my schedules. So I've got comfort, which means that I'm home and sleep when I'm sleeping. And then you've got this really cool energy dashboard. And then you've also got the general settings of the thermostat, just like any other Google Home device. All right, that's Google Home. Let's talk about Apple Home. All right, here's Apple Home. I'm going to go to Climate. There's my thermostat. So I can change the temperature and I can change the mode. And that's about it. But still very cool that I can use my voice assistant to do those two things. All right, let's talk my review, pros and cons. Let's start with the pros. The appearance. This thermostat looks sleek and modern. Google did put their little touch on it, and in this case, it wasn't a bad thing. I really love the look of it, especially the different animations. Looks really sweet. The thermostat itself is very easy to use and navigate. You just use the turn dial, you kind of press in to bring up the menu, and then you turn. Very simple. The menu is very easy to read and understand what you're going to, so I like that a lot. Installation and setup, both easy, definitely a pro. And the biggest pro of all for me, Matter integration, meaning that it's compatible now with pretty much any smart home platform, whereas before Nest was Nest, and then when it became Google Nest, you could only use it in the Google Home app. It's fantastic that I can get this thermostat in Apple Home now. I said that Matter was the biggest pro, and I don't know, because the sensors, the new generation of sensors. Before, Nest had sensors and you put them in a room and it could only take the temperature of that room, and that was fine and all. But that's always why I switched to Ecobee, because their sensors, you could take an average of each room that a sensor is in, and it really helped you cool or heat the place exactly how you wanted. And now these new generation sensors from Nest do the same thing, and that was very exciting to me. And I didn't know if I'd switch back to Ecobee after I installed this for this review, but I haven't, because I love this thermostat so much, and one of the keys is those sensors. The natural heating and cooling, using the outside temperatures to adjust inside to save you some money, that's pretty freaking sweet. I love that feature. Moving on to my cons, I really only have one, and that's that I just wish that there was more functionality when it comes to the Matter integration as far as like the Apple Home app. So in the Apple Home app, just out of the box, all you can really do is adjust the mode, so heating or cooling or off, and the temperature. And so it's pretty limited. So it's really cool that you can use your smart assistant to control the temperature and the mode, but I wish there was more functionality. But if you've seen my videos on the Starling Home Hub, I'm not going to go into the weeds on what that is, because check out my videos on that. I'll put some links in the description of that. I'll also put an affiliate link for the Starling Home Hub in the description of this video. But the Starling Home Hub is just a nice little device that gives you much more functionality in the Apple Home app with Google Home devices, specifically this 4th generation thermostat. For example, natively out of the box with Matter, you can't control your sensors or see your individual room sensors in Apple Home, but with the Starling Home Hub, you can, which is fantastic. So it really gives you more robust functionality with those sensors using Apple Home. Using the Starling Home Hub, you also gain the humidity readout using the sensors and the thermostat, and you also gain fan control. So again, none of this you can do with just normal Matter integration. Matter, you can only do the temperature and the modes. But with the Starling Home Hub, again, check out my videos on that. It really ups the game as far as this thermostat being an Apple Home. Again, I'll put a link in the description below for the Starling Home Hub, so check that out. It just gives this thermostat a lot more functionality, but it's not just this thermostat, it's every Nest device, new or old. Starling just helps you with all of that in Apple Home. And also with new firmware updates, they're just going to add a ton of works with Google Home devices to their list. And it's just going to up the game for Starling, and they're already awesome. So I'm really excited about that. But for now, the thermostat integration with the Starling Home Hub is fantastic. All right, that's it. Really just one minor con. What do you think? Have you tried this thermostat? Have you been a fan of Nest all along? Did you have the OG thermostat? Was it your first smart home device like me? Man, I think back, and it just seems like so long ago, but here we are, 2024, and that was 2011. So it was a long time ago. I guess I'm just old. But what do you think about Nest? What's your favorite smart thermostat? Are you a Nest person? Are you an Ecobee person? I was an Ecobee person for a long time. They swayed me away because of those sensors. But now I'm back. Smart thermostats, man, it's one of the bases to the smart home. You know, you got lighting, you got climate, you've got security. For me, those are the fundamentals. All right. Till the next video, peace and love, my friends.